Okay, everyone. Today we shall be taking another lecture on poetry. Basically, if you remember, I told you some terminologies in the previous lecture, and we shall be continuing with those terminologies. The first two terminologies I have already sent you and I had explained. I will not explain them again, but just to continue with them, I thought I should remind you of these terminologies. We had these terminologies already done in the previous lectures. Then the next one is basically the trochee. Trochee is another terminology. Like if you have had you have read this one, you would see that this was an iamb or iambic meter where you had one unaccented or unstressed syllable followed by another one accentric. Now in the trochee, this is the opposite of it, that there is one accentic syllable or one stressed syllable followed by one unstressed. So if you read it, you will give stress on go and not on and. Go and catch a falling star. So this is how you shall read it. That's why we say it is the opposite of iambic. The next one is the spondy. In the spondy, excuse me, for which the adjective is spondaic, we have two accentic syllables. Like if you read, the first one is the first feet, which is of I told. This feet is iamb. There is one unstressed and then a stressed. Another one is the child. Again, it is iambic because there is one unstressed and then the other one is stressed. But the next one is not iambic. It is spondaic or the spondy. We call it spondy because both of them are stressed. So we read it, I told the child, stop that. And now the stress is on both the syllables, stop also and that also. The next one we have is basically the anapaest. We call it the anapaest also and anapest also. So you could call it by any name. The adjective form of it is anapestic also and anapaestic also. It's again your choice. This consists of two unaccentic syllables followed by one accentic syllable. So you have this example here: by the dawn's early light. By the dawn's early light. So when you read it aloud, this is how you would read it, and the first two syllables are unstressed. By is unstressed, the is unstressed, and then the third one, dawn, is stressed. So this meter is basically of three syllables where you have by the dawn is stressed, the first two are unstressed. Same goes about early light. The next one we have here is the dactyl, and for this the adjectival form is dactylic. This consists of one accentic syllable followed by two unaccentic syllables. So it is the opposite of the anapaest, where we have two unstressed and then one stressed. Here we have one stressed and then two unstressed. Let's take this example. This example is from the songs before sunrise. The first syllable, green, is stressed. The next two are unstressed. So it is green as our hope in it, white as our faith in it. So you have seen that the stress is only on green, hope, white, and faith, and the unstressed in them are the next two syllables. In the first foot, it is as our. In the next one, it is in it, and the next one again is repeating the same pattern. Then we have the next one, which is pyrrhic, and the pyrrhic is basically the foot in which we have both the syllables unstressed. So you have seen here that in this line it is when the blood creeps and the nerves prick. Now, the syllables when and the, both of them are unaccentic or unstressed, and the next ones are stressed. So we see that this foot is Pyrrhic basically, and the next one again is the next one where we have a foot. The foot has two unaccentic syllables. It is and the, and when we read it we would not stress on them. So this is how we read it: when the blood creeps and the nerves prick. So this is how you come to know that this is unstressed foot, and both the syllables in this foot are unstressed. And when this is the situation, we call it a Pyrrhic meter or a Pyrrhic foot. Then we have the metrical lines. We come to know how these lines are contained, or how these are consisted of various meters. If you have a line where the meters are just of one single syllable, we call it a monometer. And if you have a line where the meters have two syllables, then we call it diameter. Or in other words, we can say, let me correct myself, the first one, monometer, has 1 foot, the second one has 2 feet, the third one, which is trimeter, has 3 feet. The tetrameter line is a line where it has 4 feet. Let's take the example of some of them here. Well, we shall go back. Now this line has 1, 2, 3 and 4 feet. When the is 1 foot, blood creeps is another foot, and the is another foot, nerves prick is another foot. So we have 4 feet, and when it is a line of 4 feet, we call it tetrameter. When it is a line of 5 feet, we call it pentameter. When it is a line of 6, we call it hexameter. And then heptameter 7, and octameter is a line which has 8 feet in it. I hope you understand. If you had any question, you would ask me later on. Let's come to the next slide. We have done, the next slide is about the caesura. Caesura is a pause that you take without any punctuation. There may not be any punctuation, but you need to take a pause. For example, in many cases you would have seen when we call someone, we take a pause here. For example, in this line that we have taken from Wordsworth, he says in one of his poems, Milton, thou shouldest be living at this hour. Now the pause after the word Milton is basically the caesura. In the same way, at many places we also take pauses when we say, alas, this has happened, or hurrah, what a world, hurrah, and then we take a pause. This pause is called caesura in the poetic language. Then we need to know what is an end stopped line. An end stopped line is a line which is not a run-on line. In other words, it is a line where there is a full stop at the end of it. And a run-on line is a line where there is no full stop at the end of it. Let's see by the help of examples. The end stop line is, for example, from Shakespeare's sonnet number 130. It is, my mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun, and then there is a full stop after the line. The next one again has a full stop. Coral is far more red than her lips. Red. And both these lines are end stopped lines because there is a full stop at the end of them. The opposite of it is a run-on line. A run-on line is the one where there is no full stop at the end of it. Like, let me not to the marriage of true minds. The sentence is not complete, and that's why there is no full stop here. That's why we call it a run-on line. Same goes about the next lines also. Then we come to know what a rhyme scheme is, or what is basically rhyming. A rhyme is basically the identical final syllable of words at the end, right? The identical final syllables of words, they may appear in two successive lines. and they may appear in successive lines also. Successive lines are the lines immediately after one another, or they may appear in alternating lines. For example, line number 1 and 2, when they are rhyming, they are successive lines, but when line number 1 and 3 are rhyming, it means that the alternative or the alternating lines are rhyming. It could be, the interval could be 4 lines also, it could be 5 lines also, and more than 5 also. So that depends on the rhyming scheme of a poem. If rhyming sounds are too far away from one another, then the effect of their musicality is lost, right? The immediacy is lost, that we do not have melody in the lines. That's why we try to weave the lines, or we try to interconnect the lines with the help of rhymes. Now, how would we give the rhyming scheme to a poem? The first line is given an A, the letter A. The next one is given B. If the next one is rhyming with the first one, then we don't give it a B, then we give it again an A. In other words, similar syllables at the end of lines will take similar letters. So the first two, if they are rhyming, they both would be A. But if they are not rhyming, the first one would be A, and then the next one would be B. When a sound reappear, we give the same letter to it. Let's take an example of it. This is a poem from Tennyson. The poem goes like this: I thought of thee, my partner and my guide, as being passed away vain sympathies. Now the first line ends at the word guide, the second line ends at the word sympathies, and they are not rhyming. So the first line will take a letter A, the second will take a letter B. Next line is for backward didn't as I cast my eyes. Now this eyes is rhyming the second line, so it will again take B. I see what was and is and will abide. Now abide is rhyming with the first line guide, so it will be A, so it becomes A B B A, and the next lines are again A B B A. Now I want you people to do the rhyming scheme of it by writing the rhymes of the lines and send me the rhyming scheme of this poem. I think this will be all from my side today. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask me and I'll answer those questions when I'm free. Thank you.